what can the Cavs do feasibly under the salary cap in the offseason to get more competitive?
I think for me, you got to pick up the phone and you got to call Kevin Pritchard, general manager of the Indiana Pacers, say, LeBron aside, what's it going to take to get Paul George in a Cavs uniform?
Okay, why? Why not?
For what?
Because
for what?
Please do explain, please.
For what? To get him for what? Or
No,
what
why?
would they give up? Oh, why?
Why?
Okay, great question. Because the biggest thing, and we talked about this yesterday, the biggest thing the Warriors exploit is when you got a guy on the floor who either does offense but no defense or defense but no offense.
one-dimensional.
They got too many one-dimensional role players, which against 27, 28 other NBA teams is fine. They can operate. But against this team, you can't because it will expose you over and over again. That's why Kevin Love didn't have a good series. It wasn't about his scoring last night. It was about he got exposed repeatedly. Every time Steph Curry was on Kevin Love, you could see in his brain say, oh, so you felt good about Game 7 last year? Let me show you something. Let me show you what I feel like when I'm 100%.
So you're saying Kevin Love shouldn't be there next year?
No, I'm saying they have to have players that can do both. And
But
Paul George is a guy who's available.
And who likes the ball in his hand.
He's going to have to
likes
adjust.
the ball in his hand.
He's going to have to
Kyrie
adjust.
likes the ball in his hand.
They're going to have to adjust.
And with that offense, it's ISO basketball. They play a little bit, and we're seeing that's not going to work. You have to share the ball. Now, if they change their style,
that's a style play. That's not a personnel play, right?
Right, but you have to get guys to buy into that. Can Paul George buy into that?
Can Kyrie buy into that?
Absolutely. That's not his game.
Right?
So they preface their offense on how these guys play.
I like the Paul George idea just because at some point it feels like with the Warriors, you just got to throw sheer numbers of all-stars at them. and again, two-way
He's right. We've seen a bunch of all-stars before, and it didn't work.
Yeah, they've got to play together. What Rasheed was saying in the break, it's the difference between, what'd you say, the five fingers is that?
The 5 fingers and the fist.
Right.
It got to be a fist.
Right.
All right. So
and it sounds good.
He got what he needed.
Yeah, it sounds good. Like in the summer, it's like, yeah, we're going to do this. But now when it comes down to it, when it's crunch time, Paul George is used to getting the ball.
Okay.
Now LeBron and Kyrie have coexist, so they get it. But now you add in this other guy. And that was the question with Golden State with Durant.
KD, right?
Who's going to be the guy to get the ball? But they bought into it, and you have unselfish guys on your team. Like, hey, it doesn't matter.
James is not going
the
to
ball
just
will
give
dictate.
up, right? If you were
No.
LeBron, Sheed, you would not be like, oh, guess the Warriors are good. Guess my window to
No,
win
he's
titles is
not gonna
over.
give up.
Adjustments to
So
me.
what do you? Well, you,
I mean,
you think style is
in my opinion, the Cavaliers gave him everything he asked for.
Right.
He wanted certain shooters. He wanted this player, that player. They gave him everything he asked for, and they came up short. So now it's just a matter of, all right, you got to work harder and
Tweaks, maybe?
yeah, do little tweaks here and there. I don't think you necessarily have to change that whole team because remember, they did win it last year
right,
with that same team.
but not against Kevin Durant.
Right, true, but they were still the champions.
Yeah.
But now that same team, KD, he made that difference for Golden State. But Cleveland, they just got to go back to hit that gym, work harder. Know what it is. Look, left with a bad taste in your mouth. And have that bad taste in the mouth fuel you for the summer and for next season to get back here next year.
And through the regular season, to me, is a key. Because here's one tweak, Vince, that they can make without adding anyone to the roster. They can actually play the regular season like it matters. They can develop their defense through the regular season.
Remember? They flipped the switch.
They can develop good habits. You heard Ty Lue, they're talking about the end of Game 3, and it seems to be the thing that is haunting these Cavaliers as they walk away from the finals. We could have won Game 3. This could have been a different series. Guess what? If you have good habits in the final 3 minutes of an important basketball game, you don't make as many dumb plays as they did down the stretch of that game.
Game 3
I mean, even just running the
costly.
11 or 12 seconds off the clock that they wasted. I mean, there were so many little things that you said, wait, did these guys play basketball all season? And because they weren't tested and they weren't focused during the regular season, and they didn't care, frankly. And maybe now, after, as you said, the bad taste, they will actually care.
So they bought the hype. If you remember when Kyle Korver got acquired, I said, oh, this is a great move for Cleveland. It closes the gap a little bit. And they were laughing like, God, we won the championship. They bought the hype that we're better than Golden State. Oh, you added KD, he's a choker. They had all these little silly narratives in their brain and not looking at actual basketball, that they were a poor defensive team, that they're a poor execution team, that they were coasting on the talents of LeBron James. And what ended up happening was the bill came.
Not poor. Less great. Less good. Not poor. I mean, they're still.
Oh, defensively or execution?
I'm just being in general.
Sure.
I mean, we give you poor.
They were
it is hard, though, Sheed, right after you win, the year after you win. I mean, you guys went to the finals again the year after you won the title. You took them to 7 games. But still, it is hard to have that same
Oh, definitely. It's a focus.
desperation.
You got to have that focus. And that following year after we won it was a couple games we jacked off.
Yeah.
We know that. But for the most part, we had to stay focused. We had to go out there and play. And look, we're the defending champs.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
But you're gonna have that finals high.
And by the way, they were, if you look at their numbers,
Yeah.
the year after they won, they were actually better because he was there the whole year. So they were elite all year long as opposed to
half a season.
Half a season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, well, as Chauncey says on this ESPN air all the time, the difference is Sheed.